Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete and Lifestyle Coach. Man, we got a good session with you today. Freedom. Freedom. The path to freedom, not an easy one, as we can see around the world, but we all want it. We all want it in our daily lives and what we do. And I'm going to share some concepts with you. And for those that want to hang around, we got a special gift for you. So if you'll be able to lean into freedom, the rewards are substantial. Our freedom community, you can scan it, you can go to it, you can be around like-minded people, freedom builders, because freedom is not free. You got to earn it, you got to work on it, you got to constantly lean into it. All right, let's go. I'm going to give you another slide. Let me make this a little bigger because it's here. Let me see. Yes, right here. Okay. The path to personal power. This is a guide from the Motivational Manifesto, Brendon's classic book that will help you with the 9 declarations. We'll talk about freedom. We'll talk about how you can activate it and how you can use this framework to help you in your journey. And then we'll invite you to be in our Freedom Builder School community, where together we're better. Together, working on our freedoms, time, wealth, health, travel, creative, location. All these freedoms are possible, but we got to work at it. We got to do it each day. That's why we believe in personal growth. We believe in Growth Day, a community of 300,000 plus people from around the world that make personal growth a daily thing. We do the 5 to Thrive. The 5 to Thrive, like taking a shower in personal growth every day. What if you did what it would be possible? All right. Okay. I'm going to put up here first the 3 pillars of business freedom. Without demand, you don't have a business. You have a hobby or a business that's going to go out of business. So if you can't create demand, you are just like a boat without a rudder. Demand is everything. Creating the leads for your business, for whatever you're doing, you have to create demand. We always say, don't go out there and buy all this stuff. Don't buy an expensive website, all these brochures. Go get clients. Ask people, if I do this, would you pay this? Now, if they say no, keep asking. Because your friends will always say yes. But when you ask them to put the money up, that's when you decide, that's when it'll tell you if you have a valid concept, service, something that you can honor with. Because we talk about time freedom, we talk about all the 6 freedoms that are possible. They start with your business, that your business can impact you, can give you that financial freedom, that time freedom, that creative freedom, that location freedom, that travel freedom. All these freedoms are possible, but you got to work at it. Entrepreneurship, as everybody wants it because they want the freedom to be able to do what they want, but it takes responsibility. It takes working on your skills, getting better. When you got a paycheck coming in, whether you get up or not, you're not as hungry. That when entrepreneurs know they have to create value, they have a different mindset. That's what we want you to have, is a different mindset, a mindset of creating value. Even if you're working, create value, be better. Always think of how can I create more value that I'm getting paid for. And when you do that, you'll always have opportunities, always. The freedoms are generating leads. So that's demand. Leads create cash flow. Cash flow create thriving communities. We have thriving school communities. That's why we have freedom builders, because we're all working. We're all on a journey, a freedom journey. Different, might be time, it might be wealth, it might be health, it might be creative, it might be travel, it might be location. All of them are possible, but you got to work on yourself. Your business will not grow beyond your personal growth. That's why taking a shower and personal growth each day with the growth day and the 5 to Thrive, which is Brendon Burchard's community. And inside that community are the best teachers and coaches you'll ever see. And they'll be able to help you with your skills, help you with your personal growth, because together we're better. Together we're better. So you want to scan that QR code? You can go to the Freedom Community. You can go to our school community where you'll be surrounded by people on the same journey as you, looking for those freedoms that make you totally free. And that's every day we work on it. Every day. Every day. Because you wait, let's say, a month without taking a shower. Are people going to want to be around you? Probably not, because you're going to stink. Why wouldn't you want to take a shower in personal development? Why wouldn't you want to clean and get your skills and always prepare yourself for a day? Be present. And I'm going to go through these 9 declarations so we can help you learn to lean into freedom, learn into be a builder of freedom, learn the 6 areas we talk about, which I think I don't have up here right now. But let's go to, hold on here. Let me take this off. All right. And let me bring up on the screen. Okay. There we go. Let me go over to here and I will make it a little bit bigger for you. So there we go. This is a strategy summary from Brendon's book, The Motivation Manifesto. 9 declarations to claim your personal power. And it's not, I want you to think of the power is you being the best you can be. A lot of people, I had a gentleman that I was on a live event and he said something about, that motivational stuff. And the guy doing the event, what's wrong with that? He goes, I listen to this music every time I go to the gym so I can be motivated. There's nothing wrong with being motivated. I mean, motivated to show up, be present, motivated to be the best for your kids, motivated to be the best in what you're doing. Motivated doesn't just hit you out of the sky. You have to generate it. Now, I'm going to give you the 9 declarations to claim your personal power. Personal freedom is a foundational urge in every human being. This is a manual to reclaim it. Based on Brendon's work and his book, the Motivation Manifesto. And if I can motivate you to go out and buy his book, to try the 7 days of motivation, of learning, of growing in Growth Day, then I've accomplished what I want to do. If one person gets motivated to make that change, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, the battle of the self. You have the urgent freedom, the drive to choose one's path and express one's true self. The obstacle, fear. The internal theft that manifests as self-doubt, hesitation, and social conformity. We don't want to stand out because we'll be judged, we'll be looked at as different. Most lives are lived small. We repress our true potential, not because we lack ability, but because fear wins that internal argument. Freedom is not a luxury. The definition of true freedom is the ability to choose one's own path without constraint. Self-determination, the right to direct our own destination and our own choices. I like to see that the quality of your choices every day do have an impact on the outcome. If your choices are to eat a whole bag of Doritos and eat a gallon of ice cream each day, the outcome from those choices will show up. If you choose not to go to the gym, not to exercise, the outcome will show you. If you choose that I don't need to read any books, I just good like I am, you're choosing to be the same. You're choosing for comfort. I like to say I'm teaching with a friend of mine over at Kennesaw Mountain High School tomorrow. And it's about big rocks, prioritizing, putting the big rocks in first. When you choose to put the big rocks in your day, you're going to get more done. If you choose for comfort and what feels good, which would be the small rocks, you're not going to have time for the big things. So when you're choose the big rocks. Your creative expression, the ability to show our true self to a world without mask or apology. Be yourself. Express yourself. Express how you want to show up. Show up with joy. Feel the joy. I mean, you have a choice. Do I wake up in a bad mood and go ahead and do that, feel that way the whole day? That's your choice. Yes, you could. But maybe you choose to be different. You want to choose to be joy. You want to choose to say something nice about people, encourage people. Choose those things. Intentional living, pursuing meaningful goals rather than drifting through existence. The average person in America watches 4 hours of TV a day, 4 hours, and scrolls over 2.5 hours. Maybe they're watching a lot of TikTok videos. That's entertainment. Watching TV for 4 hours, you're living other people's lives. You're consuming other people's lives. Create your life. Cut back on your TV. Cut back on your scrolling. I'm not saying you can't do any of it, but 4 hours and 2 hours and 2.5 of social scrolling, that's 6.5 hours. That same person will say, I don't have time. I don't have time to read a book. No, you're choosing to watch TV. You're choosing to consume other people's lives when you can be creating your life. Freedom is a foundational urge in every human being. The mask of fear. Fear is an internal theft that convinces us to avoid discomfort. Self-doubt, questioning our own worthiness and our capacity. Social conformity, adhering to the status quo to avoid criticism. Hesitation, a fatal pause between thought and action where dreams die. The result, a repressed life. Being your best is being bold. You want it, but if you let self-doubt, social conformity, hesitation capture that moment, and you keep repeating that, then you let the fear. I always say that you've got faith and boldness over here, and you got your fear over here. When one's talking to you, if fear is talking to you and it gets bigger than your faith and boldness, it wins. But if you step out on faith, if you're bolder, that one starts to get stronger. Let's allow your faith and boldness to grow. And let's put fear in a small, small, small box. Okay. Motivation is a choice, not a feeling. A lot of people confuse this. I'm not feeling motivated. Yeah, that's a choice. You're deciding. The brain's in an absolutely incredible. When I had my stroke 4 years ago, almost four, I had to start choosing a different life, choosing not to drink alcohol, not to consume sugar, to choose to not do social media, to not watch TV. That choice gave me more freedom to be a better person, to show up different. And when you choose that, it's your choice to do it. Arise from clear intentions and a committed decision to act. Requires ongoing, deliberate mindset choices. The purpose to sustain our deep motivated for action. What is the old saying? A body in motion stays in motion. So if you're sitting watching TV, you're not activating that motion. And then all of a sudden we're sliding into comfort, sliding into that choice that you're preferring at the time to not do anything. Over time, the average person, 2 years after they retire, will die if they lose their connections, they stop growing, they stop having a purpose, and they stop that aliveness before. Now, if you just do what my friend Jeff Alley, repack your bag. He read the book and he started applying himself. That's why we're teaching over Kennesaw Mountain tomorrow together. He's repacked his bag and he's on to new adventures. That's a better choice than to choose to do nothing. When you choose comfort and nothing, it starts to compound. Then you're getting used to being comfortable, which doesn't give you that aliveness. We all love challenges. We all love connection, meaningful purpose, and personal growth. But we have to choose it. And when we choose it, we're activating that. So the sustained motivation, you must adopt a code of conduct. You must make declarations. Declaration 1, we shall meet life with full presence. We shall meet life with full presence. To me, what that means, I show up every podcast, every conversation, more on purpose now, to listen, to learn, to connect, to engage, to be present in the conversation. Have you ever, you're talking and you're thinking what the next thing you're going to say? That's, you're choosing not to be present. Oh, I'm so busy, I got to think of what else I'm going to say. That is not honoring that conversation. And when you honor the presence of a person, you go deeper in your learning, your growing, and your engagement, and your relationships. And when you gain that, you're much better. The trap, living in the past regret or future anxieties, creates disconnection from reality. What's the shift? Consciously participating in life's unfolding. What would be a practice? Engage fully with a person or task in front of you. Fully. Do not seek distraction, seek depth. I do 3 days in one. I batch my time. My granddaughter and my daughter just stopped by. She's just new onto the potty and needed a bathroom break, and she dropped off her kids at school. And I can take the time to enjoy them. I'm not so busy doing the things that aren't important, like hanging out with your granddaughter, hanging out with your daughter. And when you can choose those kind of things, you're getting more time freedom, more creative freedom, more freedom to choose the things you want. And that's what we work on in our school Freedom Builder community. Scan the QR code, join it. It's free. We're going to give you a gift. It's valued at $400, a 12-session high-performance habit course, and personal freedom through journaling. I personally never journaled before my stroke. Maybe a tiny bit when I was in dark places. And they always said, hey, you got to have a gratitude journal. Well, you do, but you don't just do it one day and magically you're like in a different mindset. Repeat it over and over. I have 17 plus journals I've completed. This one is Brendon's larger journal. This is my smaller journal I carry around with me. So my default is journal. What is your default? Watch TV? Scroll social media? If that's your default, you're choosing that. And when you choose to consume, you're not creating your life. Choose to be present. All right, declaration 2. Motivation is a choice. No, I went the wrong way. Hold on here. Here we go. Declaration 2. We shall reclaim our agenda. That happened. I was always a geek for productivity, but I always had too much to do and didn't know how to prioritize. So I would write down 25 things, and then I would get the easiest things done first. Then all of a sudden, at the end of the day, the most important thing, the big rock, I didn't get done because I didn't know how to prioritize. I didn't realize that my choices mattered. I mean, I did, but I didn't. And the reason I changed is I knew I had what Brendon calls, and what I know I have now is mortality motivation. When you step on the steps of death, it changes you. You realize that, you know what, I got a second chance. And in my case, it's probably the 9th chance, but that's a story for another day. But having that, realizing it could have been over at that second, and realizing you're alive, and realizing that every day is precious. Every day is precious. I live every single day like it's my last. One of these days, I'm going to be right. But until then, I'm going to be present. I'm going to reclaim my agenda. Letting life circumstances, the trap, or other people's demands dictate your direction. This might be an example of checking email first thing in the morning. You're just prioritizing other people's calendar, not yours. That's a trap. I get up, I drink, I think, I journal, I read, and I plan. I do the same thing every single day. Every single day. I think. Critical thinking will allow you to discover a freedom that you've never had, the creative freedom. And that's possible. The shift is taking ownership of time and priorities. I now have 3 days in one, 3 5-hour days. So I block those 5 hours in a group of things that I do that makes me a whole lot more productive. And not so much that I get more done, I get the bigger rocks. And I'm moving at a pace of 3 days in one. Times 7, that's 21 days. I get 21 days in a week. Most get 7. But it was a practice. I mean, it didn't start out. It just hit me out of the sky. I started practicing, batching time, Pomodoro, doing things in chunks, because your brain, when you're shifting from one thing to the other, David Crenshaw wrote the book, The Myth of Multitasking. And it's a great book about, you think you're getting done more by having 10 tabs open and bouncing back and forth all these tabs, emails, then get back to you just answering the phone, whatever it is. Your brain disrupts the flow. And it's like 15 to 25 minutes or something like that it takes to get back into the flow. So if you're always interrupting and always jumping around like a chicken with a head cut off, I guess that's a good saying, or you're jumping around like a jumping bean, you're not going to get the important things done, because you're going to be just mentally fatigued, if not getting those big rocks done. So the practice, create systems and structures to protect your flow, your focus. That's what I do with the 3-5 hours. I'm looking at it right now. Here's my card. I see my 3-5 hours, and I try to group those at the beginning of the day as I plan and implement. Design your day rather than stumbling into them. Stumbling would be check my emails, see what other people want from me, and then going down rabbit holes. And when that happens, you're on somebody else's agenda, somebody else's life. Create your life. We talk about creative freedoms. Create your life. Go from consumption to creating. And that's possible with practice. Ensure consistent progress towards your meaningful goals. The 4 human drivers of aliveness: connection, meaningful pursuit, and personal growth. You focus on those, you practice on those, your life will change. You will live an abundant life. Not that you have to be a multi-zillionaire, but live an abundant life. Choose to live that lifestyle, and it's possible, but you have to choose it. All right, the next one. Declaration 3, we shall defeat our demons. Stumbling into internal barriers like procrastination, indecision, self-sabotage. Shift confrontation over avoidance. We avoid things because we don't want to conform. You have to have those difficult conversations. If you want to practice that muscle, identify specific demons: fear of failure, laziness. Choose to act despite the discomfort. Maybe that conversation would be uncomfortable, but by having it, your muscle grows. If you're always avoiding that difficult conversation, you're leaning into being comfortable, because sometimes you step out of your comfort zone, you grow. If you can keep growing and keep practicing, you're going to be better because you're practicing it. Doesn't happen overnight. You practice. That's why we have the school community for you. We can help you. We can introduce you to personal growth through Growth Day. We can coach you on clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. Through those 5 high-performance habits, your habits get better. And when you get better, your business gets better. Understanding and overcoming the demons is a prerequisite for courage. Okay, declaration number 4. We shall advance. We shall advance with abandon. The trap. Waiting for perfect conditions, permission, or guarantee to succeed. We've all heard perfection versus progress. I don't know if we've heard it, but I've heard it a lot. If you're the type of person, it's got to be perfect, you won't get to first base. Jeff Bezos said one time, when they would advance something, an idea, they would have maybe 60% of what they needed. It meant it's never going to be perfect, because if you wait for something to be perfect, it will never happen. And progress over perfection will help you to move forward, learn, grow, figure out what you need to do next to make it better. And shifting from a perfectionist mindset to a progress mindset, pursue goals passionately. Drop the need for certainty. Nothing's certain. Tomorrow could be different. It is going to be different. You never know what it's going to be. You just got to lean into it. Do it. Take action. Activate it. Move forward in intensity and without hesitation. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but you go into a restaurant, and I always kind of watch this just out of curiosity. I make my decision on what I'm going to order right away. I don't hesitate. Then you have some people that'll take minutes, 10 minutes. Should I do this? Should I do that? Just do something. What's the worst that can happen? You don't order that item anymore. But if you train your brain to hesitate, train your brain to look for perfection, you don't make the progress. You don't learn. You don't exercise that muscle of practicing, of that muscle of progression, progress that helps you to grow. Okay, next, Declaration 5. We shall practice joy and gratitude. Don't we need a lot of that? Golly day. Man, give some people some grace. Practice joy. Practice gratitude. The trap is believing joy is a byproduct that arrives only after success is achieved. Honor the struggle, as Brendon says. Honor the struggle. We learn. We grow. Generating joy is an intentional discipline. Be the person to show up joyful. Bring joy into the day, to the conversation, to the person you're with. Bring the joy. The practice, cultivate gratitude daily to transform perspective. If you're grateful for the day, you're grateful for your friends, for your family, for the people you meet, it shifts your mindset. And that can be powerful for you, because if you're watching the news every day for 4 hours, man, I hate to see what you're like, because you're probably barking and yelling and screaming at everybody like you see out there. These are people that digest the wrong stuff. Go back to the shower. If you maybe cut off your news for 30 days, see what is possible, and then see how people will say, hey, man, Pete, you're pretty joyful today. What are you doing? I'm not watching the news. So that's possible. If you're going to digest negative things, don't you think it's going to come out in the things you say and do? It will. So the practice, cultivated gratitude daily to transform perspective. Bring joy to the activity. Do not demand the activity give joy to you. You bring it. Bring the joy. Resilience is enhanced by emotional discipline. You choosing discipline, choosing to think. You hear a lot lately about emotional intelligence. It's so critical, because people don't want to be around somebody that's always yelling and screaming and doing the things. Just look around and you'll see the ones that bring the joy, like Brendon. He brings the joy. His community of 300,000 people bring the joy each day. They work on it. They progress on it. They get better. They take the 5 to thrive. And when they do the 5 to thrive, and Brendon's talking to us every day, and we have a related video, and we score ourselves, and we journal, and we answer a thought-provoking question, we have set ourselves up for a better day. Not because it just magically happened. It was a choice to lean in to personal growth. All right, let's see. Number 6, that we shall not break integrity. Integrity. Look, your reputation matters. You can lose your reputation in 1 second. But you got to set yourself up for integrity. Surround yourself with people of integrity. Lean into it. Read good books. Listen to good things. Have a framework for your integrity. The trap: small compromises and disconnects between what we value and what we do. What we value and what we do. The shift totally aligned with between values and actions. That's how you can shift into it. What is the practice? Keep promises made to others. When you say you're going to show up, show up. When you say you're going to do something, do it. Because when you say something and don't do it, it's like the what's the phrase? 1,000 cuts. It's like just little things over time. I say I'm going to be there and I don't show up. I say I'm going to do this and I don't do it. Does one make a big difference? Maybe not. But over time, it does. When you choose to, then people say, well, gosh, he says he's going to be there at 12, never shows up. It's not that it's the person, it's you that it's affecting. That's why we want you to do what you say. Have the integrity. If I tell you I'm going to be there, I'm there. And usually I'm there 15 minutes early, because a gentleman, when I was working with McEachin High School, and he shared, when you're on time, you're 15 minutes late. So show up 15 minutes early. Get there. It's a habit. And when you have that habit and people know that you'll be there, your integrity starts to speak for yourself. Keep promises made to others, and especially promises made to oneself. View integrity as a structural steel of personal power. Results: deepened self-trust. The 7th, thou shalt amplify love. Man, we need some more love in this world now. There's just a lot of, to be watching people that are trying to help and to demify the ICE federal agents because you have been believing that it's bad. Be careful how you think. Be careful what you read. Be careful what you see. Be careful. It means something. These people are doing their job. They're cleaning up the mess that happened over the last 4 years. The mess. Really more than that, but mainly the last 4. And we're demifying them because we're taking the criminals off the streets. Think about what you're doing. Think. Amplify love. The trap: isolation and self-protection. Isolation and self-protection. Together we're better. Being in a community, our school Freedom Builders community. Scan the QR code. I think I pointed to it. And join our community. It's free, but you got to activate it. You got to take that step. You got to do something. If you say, I'll do it later, do it now. Do it now. Later may not come. You may forget. You may get distracted, but do it now. The shift: letting love be the core motivating force. Letting love be the core motivating force. What's our practices? Amplify love towards oneself, others, and one's work. Amplify love towards oneself, others, and one's work. Use connections to transcend fear. Look, together we're better. If you're having trouble, that's why we want to help you in the community, because we're all on a journey. We're all trying to get to these freedom. Not everybody, but most of us. Recognize the love fuels meaningful action in a way willpower cannot. There's no such thing as willpower. If you put in your home bags of chips and sugar and all that stuff, and you walk by it, if you're expecting willpower to stop you from taking that, it's just a false thing like multitasking. Just don't put it in the house. You got to set up boundaries for your willpower, because willpower is not real. Because if I depended on willpower, I go to the gym 6 days a week, because I can't walk around the block like people will do. I have to think about every step I take. And when I'm on a bike, a recumbent, the bike with a, you know what I mean, the bike with a seat on it, that's my running. But my eyes are closed 95% of the time. I'm focusing on what I'm listening to. I'm concentrating. I'm meditating on learning. And I've stacked all these positive things on top of each other. So when I'm thinking that I don't feel like going to the gym today, I say, what am I going to miss? I'm going to miss some good things that I've bookmarked, that I was going to listen to at 2x speed or 1.5 speed. That's going to help me learn something about a specific topic. Because we hear about AI, and I want you to think of, be curious. Be curious. Thinking will always be part of what we do. It's not going to replace the thinkers. It's only going to replace the people that don't use it properly. That, what do they call, brain rot? That's all you do is take that stuff. Now, you look at this presentation, was generated by AI, Notebook LM. I went into ChatGPT. I said, give me the three, I forget what it was, 3 points and 9 declarations on Brendon Burchard's book, the Motivation Manifesto. It spat it out. So if I'm going to read that book, I'm going to be looking for those things. Summary, I asked him. Then I took that summary and I put it in Notebook LM, and whambo, this is what it created. This, what you're listening to, what you're seeing, was created from, I started in ChatGPT, then I took that text, put it in Notebook LM, and generated this presentation. So before, years ago, it'd take me 6 months to do this if I would have done it. It literally created it in 3 to 4 minutes. This beautiful presentation, summarizing it, lining it up in the correct sequence, one declaration after another. Trap, shift, and practice. All written in his book. Now I say, get the book. I have it. Get the book. The Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard. Okay. Whoo, number 8. Whoo, yeah. We shall impede greatness. Now you can see this isn't perfect. See the word greatness? So I think it says impede, but I don't know. I'm just guessing, because nothing's perfect in AI. Human intelligence, HI and AI together, you're better. So, but it still gets enough that I could talk on the trap, focusing solely on personal achievement and accumulation. Shift, lifting others, serving others. I serve at the Rotary Club here in Atlanta. On Thursday morning, you'll catch me there. It's because I'm around people that are making an impact, serving the community, loving each other, It's the best time to be around those kind of people every week. It recharges my battery. And I can be around people that are serving. And I'm going to an event tonight to serve the extension with men that in their life, they're at a journey in their life that they need some assistance. So together we're better. Together we go over there. Tonight's going to be chili. And Keith is making the chili. We're bringing all the sides and we're going to hang out with them and have a great time. Because together we're better. Serving. The practice, model aspirational behavior for those around you. That's what we do at Rotary. Empowering others to claim their own freedom. Everybody has a journey. Everybody's leaning into freedom. That's why we teach 6 distinct freedoms: time, health, wealth, location, creativity, and travel. Those are the 6 we work in. Personal growth is the engine to that rocket. So join, scan that QR code, join us in our community. Together we're better. Contribute positively to the community. Real greatness is shared. We're contributing positively to our community in Atlanta here and around the globe. So if you haven't been to a Rotary lately, go check it out. If you want to get a hold of me and you're in the Atlanta area and you're a person to serve, a person that wants to make an impact, wants to help others, you could be the type of person that you would want to be a part of that. It's completely different than what you've ever seen. When you walk into this room, absolutely, you can feel the energy. You can see and meet that people love being around each other. They love serving. They love making an impact. And they do it together. Together, we're better. Okay, we're winding down here. The last declaration, number 9, we shall slow time. Have you ever seen when Tom Brady was playing, the game just slowed down. He was like an orchestra leader leading a group, the team. And what you'll see is when you start slowing down time, wonderful things happen. He beat our Atlanta Falcons, because he slowed the game down. He strategically picked apart the defense and made that winning drive. You can do that in life. Slow down. Time freedom. We teach that in our school community. We want you to do 3 days in one, 3 5-hour days, or 2 8-hour days, whatever you want to do. It's practice. Practice slowing down time by putting the big rocks in first, getting the most important things done each day, as opposed to getting done the easy things. There is not a statue out there. Hey, there's Pete Kane. He led the easy life. He did nothing that challenged himself. He just watched TV and scrolled social media. Man, what a life. See how ridiculous it sounds? We erect statues, for the most part, to people we look up to that did the unusual. You're going to see some statues of Elon Musk, and you're not going to be, because he's changing the world. He's changing the way transportation is changing everything. He's the Einstein times 100. But look at the way people vilify him. I had 2 people I'm in a wheelchair right now. I don't use it all the time, but I use it when I work. And I sent this to a few people that I know. And I said, this is a great invention, because it was a wheelchair that cost came down, could do all kinds of crazy things. This took about a year to get. And you could get it right away and all that kind of things. Well, the 2 people sent back like, love the invention, but hate the guy. I mean, God, I don't understand people. But hey, that's when you do not lean into your mindset and you vilify people. Those are the kind of responses you get. So slow down your time, changing perspective through mindfulness. Changing perspective through mindfulness. The practice. Be so fully present that that moment expands. Be so fully present. And that's why I love podcasting. I look the person up. I look and I see, I have questions they answer, and I kind of lean into what I can do to connect with that person, to share that story. And that curiosity and that being present is the most special time. I could do 10 a day. I don't, but I could, because I have slowed down time and I'm present, and I learn so much from every person's story. You have a story, a unique one. And we want to hear that story because I want to share that with our community. You can go to pkane.me. I'd love for you to be a guest on our podcast so I can share your story with our community. The results: deepen meaning. Experience life vividly with sensory awareness. Ooh, I love that. Results: deep, meaningful moments. Extend the subject experience of life. I write down my 3 wins every day. Very rare do I miss it. I make my bed every day. I get a win real quick. And my wins is a reminder of every single day. If we can start celebrating our wins, momentum starts. And our wins become our highlight, become our momentum, our flow. And so you can see, I can probably go back at least a year and a half, maybe more, where I write the 3 wins each day. Be reminded, and I don't have many of them, bad days, I can go back and just look at my wins. I go, man, I've done a lot, because I'm focused on it and I celebrate them. Okay. Organizing your philosophy. Freedom of self-determination, the 9 declarations, action and mindset. Motivation is a choice to act. The declarations are not just words, they are actionable commitments. Live them to retain your life. Bounce the fears off and lean into these declarations. And I think that is it. Let me go back over here. Okay, man, I hope I did it. All right. Dang. Longer than I thought. Okay, let me just go back here. Join. Hold on here. Remove. And I want to put that up here. Hold on here. I'm up here. Okay. Join our Free Freedom community. Be free. Scan the QR code. There it is, right there. Scan it. Scan it now. You're going to get a $400 gift. 2 of my best digital programs, valued. One's at $300, High Performance Habits Mastery. We're going to talk about clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. Physiology mastery, psychology mastery, purpose mastery, persuasion mastery, and productivity mastery. I've been certified as a high performance coach. I want to create a lifestyle for you, help you lean into the freedoms. There are 6 freedoms: time, health, creative freedom, travel, location freedom, and wealth freedom. Each one of them we help you with, because when you're ready to invest in yourself, we have another community for you, where we're going to hold you by the hand, guide you through the process, connect you up with people that have a freedom builder mindset. And investing in yourself will be the best thing you could ever do in your life, ever. You got to activate it. And when you do it in a community of other people, you get to learn, you get to grow, you get to be around people that are making a difference in the world, or making an impact. So remember the 3 pillars: generate demand, create the leads, create the cash flow, and build thriving school communities. So you can go to, let me just put this banner up here. Yes, you can go to petekane.me, join our Freedom Builders community, petekane.me/school. If you're like, I don't know, I'm unsure of my life, book a clarity session. Go to petekane.me/clarity. And let me change. I'll change. Nope, I can't do it here. Oh, yeah, we can. Okay, I'm just changed the QR code. So this QR code right there is the clarity session, where you can book a clarity session. You can go to petekane.me/clarity. Or if you're real high tech and you want to scan a QR code, it'll set up a time on my calendar where I can help you. It'll ask you some questions so I get a better idea of what you want, and I'll give you some ideas on how to grow, how to lean into the 6 freedoms, how to make your life the best possible. Life is a journey. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, and the first step is join the community. If you want to be a guest on my podcast, when you join the community, just reach out to me, and I would love to have you on. So be bold,